for an opening statement.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Secretary. It's our job to hold you accountable and ask questions, and I appreciate you attending the briefing today to offer your budget. You know, the President promised to cut electric bills in half, but utility bills are way up, as is the risk of a resurgence in inflation thanks to the administration's policies. It always sounded way too good that electricity bills would be cut in half, but hardworking Americans did not expect you to actively work to make their lives more expensive, reach into their wallets and grab their hard-earned cash. And that's effectively what your policies have done in just a few short months. And in addition to higher electric bills, the U.S. DOE is actively killing jobs. The U.S. Department of Energy, once the envy of the world for innovation, our national labs, and focus on cleaner, cheaper energy, is killing jobs. Mr. Secretary, you inherited a Department of Energy that was advancing an energy manufacturing boom. 1,000 new or expanded factories across America, 400,000 good-paying jobs just over the past few years. America had a strategy to produce more energy, reshore jobs, modernize the grid, invent the energy technologies of the future, and build and scale them here in the United States. This is smart policy, especially as energy is central to our national security, but you seem happy to cede the next generation of energy innovation and leadership to our competitors like the Chinese Communist Party. We need you to answer why you and Republicans in Congress are intentionally sabotaging America's progress, constraining our supply, and fueling higher household energy bills. On top of it all, the administration is piling on arbitrary tariffs that's making the energy sector more expensive because tariffs lead to increased costs and disruptions, ultimately impacting both consumers and the broader energy market. DOE is supposed to be leading energy innovation and security, from grid resilience to critical minerals to renewable power to next generation renewable power. But you and Elon Musk and DOGE have taken a chainsaw to the scientists, experts, and congressionally mandated initiatives at DOE. Witnesses and experts testify before this committee consistently that we need to support expansion of electricity transmission infrastructure in the U.S. because it's critical to providing affordable and reliable power. Yet the big ugly bill, as we affectionately call it, the billionaire tax break package, rescinds support for transmission facility financing, electricity transmission planning, modeling. It takes back the grants to facilitate the siting of interstate electricity transmission lines. And recent studies have shown that a comprehensive approach to building transmission lowers costs for consumers. In the Northeast, average electric bills could decrease by more than 1/3. A new report released yesterday finds that every $1 spent on transmission returns up to $4.70 in customer benefits. In addition, 2 weeks ago, you canceled industrial demonstrations funded by Congress to cut carbon emissions and toxic air pollution from industrial sites and power plants. DOE claimed these projects failed to advance the energy needs of the American people. They're not economically viable. They don't return a positive investment for taxpayers. But that is not true. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record a report from the American Council for Energy Efficient Economy that finds the industrial demonstrations would bring $14 billion in private investment and keep industrial facilities competitive with countries around the world.
Well, without objection, so ordered.
This dysfunction at the Department of Energy is killing investment in America. Look at the Loan Programs Office, which House Republicans are trying to kill in their big, ugly bill. The LPO is exactly the kind of tool we need to provide low-cost financing to projects that traditional investors won't fund. However, since President Trump took office, companies, many of whom have spent years and millions of dollars to secure conditional LPO loan commitments, are walking away. They can no longer trust the Department of Energy to be a reliable partner. CorePower, who received a conditional loan to build a new lithium battery manufacturing facility, has canceled the project, resulting in 3,000 lost American jobs. Aspen Aerogels received a conditional loan to build a plant in Georgia to make thermal barriers for EV batteries. They've canceled the plant and will instead expand production in China and Mexico. The list goes on. And you know, Americans expect policymakers like you to deploy taxpayer dollars wisely, spur cost-saving and innovations, and make people's lives better. But your proposed budget fails to advance that vision. And when an administration holds a vision based on propping up only dirty power sources, we lose America's capacity to innovate and drive costs down, which ultimately hurts American businesses and the American people. So you have a lot to answer for today. I look forward to the exchange. I yield back my time.